The coalition may be out of office, but two prominent former ministers are back in the public spotlight in the Robodebt Royal Commission.
The department refused to face reality. They refused to engage with the possibility that the system was unlawful.
My anger lies with those in charge of the entire system who put that Robodebt in place. I am angry at those people.
In the AT2, yes.
The inquiry has heard the government was warned as early as 2014 the scheme was potentially unlawful, yet it continued to wrongly pursue 400,000 welfare recipients for money they didn't owe for years.
And a failure to take that step is, of course, a failure for which you are responsible as the minister.
I don't know that you can say that.
That's what the Finance Minister was requesting.
Watching the proceedings from her home in Ballarat is retired pensioner Rosemary Gay. She remembers the day she received a letter from Centrelink demanding she pay back tens of thousands of dollars.
It turned my life upside down. I was shocked. I was filled with terror that A, I owed an amount, and B, that it was an amount like $65,000. I've never earned that much money in a year in my life.
The government's automated scheme claimed she'd been overpaid by Centrelink before later conceding it was a computer glitch.
I instantly thought, I am going to have to sell my home and I'm going to lose everything I've worked for in my 70 years.
As stories like Rosemary's began to emerge in a growing public outcry in early 2017, the Commission heard the then Turnbull government moved to shut down criticism.
We're trying to just contain it, I suppose, at the time. But that media strategy was quite comprehensive that I developed in January to shut down the story, and that involved, placing stories with the, the more friendly media, the right-wing media, about how the coalition was actually catching people who were cheating the welfare system.
Rochelle Miller was the advisor to former Human Services Minister Alan Tudge at the time. Part of the media strategy, she said, was to correct the record if people spoke out.
The minister requested the file of every single person who appeared in the media, right, so that we could see the exact, transactions that they'd had with Centrelink and understand what the details of their case was.
In some instances, Ms Miller said, that involved releasing details of personal cases to journalists after taking legal advice.
Did you notice any impact of the decision to release personal information into the media upon the nature of media stories from that point?
Yes.
And what was the impact you observed?
Well, there were less people speaking out in the media, which was the intention.
Welfare payments make up...
The minister had already gone on television to talk up the crackdown on welfare recipients.
We will find you, we will track you down, and you will have to repay those debts, and you may end up in prison.
You swear by Almighty God that the evidence you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but...
Taking an oath, Alan Tudge told the inquiry those comments were misconstrued.
Going back to the Current Affair did not make that distinction, and it annoyed me greatly.
And he denied he intended to target individuals.
Well, we're talking about possibly, on some evidence we've heard, a strategy to intimidate people who might have complained about Robodebt.
Right, okay. Well, I disagree with that.
Alan Tudge was questioned about his response to reports of suicides among some welfare recipients who were pursued for alleged debts.
Surely when you found this out, you must have thought to yourself, the questions of accuracy and the reversal of onus are matters of real significance to the people who are affected by this scheme.
I know from experience of even people close to me who have committed suicide that you can't always know what causes somebody to do that. And I was concerned about this, and hence I asked for a review.
He's being asked to contend with debts dating back years, and you're doing this to a large population of people, many of whom, whether they've got vulnerability indicators or not, will be vulnerable. Is that not a concern?
It was a concern. It was certainly a concern to me.
A key question at the Royal Commission is whether the government deliberately ignored concerns about Robodebt's lawfulness. Central to this is internal legal advice from as early as 2014 that warned the scheme may not be lawful. So why was Robodebt allowed to continue?
People in senior positions in the department should have been curious. They should have asked themselves the simple question, how does this system fit or not fit with the legislation? And if they interrogated that question, there's only one answer. It doesn't fit.
This week, Commissioner Holmes appeared to grow impatient with the former top lawyer for the Department of Human Services, Annette Mussolino. While Ms Mussolino was aware of the 2014 concerns, she said new advice in 2017 satisfied her the scheme could go ahead.
Don't you look at that and think this is not really plausible?
DSS is satisfied that the OCI meets legislative requirements.
Yeah, and you look at the basis on which they're satisfied, doesn't it make you think, oh dear?
Commissioner, at this stage, I'm still learning about the program. I'm still formulating my views about the program, and we're still in an Ombudsman own motion inquiry. So there was nothing in this email that made me think, oh, I don't think I can trust this email, or I can't rely on it.
Alan Tudge and Christian Porter echoed earlier evidence from another former minister, Scott Morrison, that the departments did not raise any issues with them.
And I didn't know the full context in relation to the legalities. It just had not crossed my mind until I read about it in the newspaper, I think, following the federal court case.
Christian Porter said he asked questions and was assured about legality.
I can't recall who it was who affirmed that assurance, but someone did, and I recall that it was a departmental person. I couldn't say if it was DSS or DHS, and it happened quickly, and we moved on because it just wasn't the focus of what was going on.
It's almost like having plausible deniability. If they don't tell me something, therefore I'm safe. Ministers are answerable for the conduct of their departments.
Many more vulnerable Australians, like Rosemary Gay, will be appearing in the Royal Commission to put a human face to a system that let them down. Rosemary says she wants the inquiry to ensure those responsible are held to account.
I'm not after retribution for those that were involved, but what I want is for the truth to come out, that they take responsibility for what they've done.